know, we're sorry we couldn't go live, guys, but I hope that this little short film that we put together will be very interesting. So, okay, as you know, we are in the village of Eyam. Okay, I have got my notes. I need my notes. You've all heard of the plague, the Black Death that came to, well, Great Britain really. It was in London, and around about, well, 1665 there was hang on a minute, there was a bale of cloth sent to a tailor that lived here in Eyam. Okay, the tailor's name was George Vickers, and as he opened the bale of cloth, it was flea ridden, and the fleas are what kind of gave you the plague. It was the bites from the fleas, because the fleas carried the Black Death. So, as you can imagine, fleas, often we can't even see them, can you? Soon after opening his cloth, which we have actually heard stories, haven't we, Will, that he didn't even want to open it.
No.
Yeah.
You know, which is very sad, but I don't know why he opened it.
Feeling, didn't he?
I don't know. I think there's a bit of, probably need to look into that. But anyway, not long after he opened the cloth, he was dead, and more in his household followed after that. So sad, the story. So the villagers found leadership to the rector. Well, there was two. There was William Mompesson and Thomas Stanley. So we need to look out for those words on our ghost hunt later. But the reason that we've come to Eyam is because it has a big relevance for today, really, with the lockdown, with social distancing, with quarantine. And in 1665, that's exactly what this village did. It had to go on a complete lockdown. The villagers were, if a family member died in your house, you were asked to bury your loved one yourself. Nobody came out and, you know, and buried them for you. You had to do it. You could have no contact with anybody else at all. I mean, it did spread, so clearly some people must have done. Anyway, so they introduced a number of precautions to slow the spread from May 1666. So I've told you about families had to bury the dead, the village on lockdown. Now this village at that time had 350 people. This is mind-blowing. 260 of those people died, leaving only 83 people alive in this village. That is absolutely traumatic. To bury your children, to bury, well, just all your loved ones and your friends. Just absolutely awful. But there is also a story about Elizabeth Hancock. Now she buried her husband and her 6 children in a matter of 8 days. Now she lived up on the Riley farm, and it was like a farmhouse on a hill, and she had to drag her children on a sheet, drag them down and dig the graves herself while all the villagers were watching. They couldn't do anything, they couldn't go near her. I think they probably were praying, I would have said, would you? They probably had candles and praying.
Crying because they couldn't even help her.
Yeah,
Children.
yeah. I mean, it does say that the villagers were there, but
They couldn't have any
they
contact.
couldn't have, they must have been like stood apart. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah.
So this place was hit so bad. The only way to get provisions was to go to a well, which we're going to go to, and this well was filled with vinegar, which was quite bright for that time, you know, because sanitation wasn't on the top of the list in 1666 or 65. It was, you know, still stuff in the streets.
The
yeah,
well, right,
they
so
must have known.
The well was full with water. That was where they used to get their water, but they had cups of vinegar.
They had
That's
cups of
it.
vinegar with the money in.
Yes.
With money to sterilise the money. When they put their money in, the vinegar would clean it, sterilise it, so it can't be transferred. But the well was where they used to bring their buckets and everything to go and get their water.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're just going to take you to little parts. There's little plaques all over. We're going to take you up to the Riley farm. We're going to take you where the graves are. We're going to take you to the well, and we're just going to have a little walk through. So, right, okay. Silent graveyard. got here, we've got one of the cottages, we've got the Bagshaw house, it says the home of the Siddle family. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in this household died. There was Joseph Siddle, age 3, was the only survivor. Horrendous. What we're going to do now is we're going to take you over the road to the row of cottages, and it gives you a list.
Hi guys, this is the Hawkworth family home. It says Peter, the third victim, died on the 23rd of September 1965. Humphrey, aged 15 months, their son died on the 17th of October 1665. And Jane was the sole survivor in the household altogether, including in-laws. She lost 25 relatives.
Wow.
And the poignant thing about this is...
Your name's Peter Humphrey.
My name is Peter Humphrey, but that was the name of a boy and another boy called Humphrey.
Wow.
How silly that is.
I know, I know.
Unbelievable.
Right, hi guys. This cottage here is a really famous cottage in Eyam. Due to, this is where it actually started. So George Vickers was the tailor who got the cloth. So this is where it actually started. George Vickers, the first plague victim, died on the 7th of September 1665. Edward Cooper, age 4, died on the 22nd of September 1665. Jonathan Cooper, 1665. They're all 1665 apart from Alexander Hadfield, died on the 3rd of August 1966. Mary alone, his wife, is that his wife? Would it be his wife? Mary alone survived but lost 13 relatives. So this, have a scan of this house, Rach, because it's absolutely stunning. But that's where it all started.
Amazing.
Hey guys, so this cottage here, this is the Thorpe family, and everyone in this household died, unfortunately. And Thomas Thorpe died the 26th September 1665. Mary, his daughter, died 4 days later, September 1665. And then the day after, no, 2 days after, Elizabeth, his wife, died on the 1st of October, and then his son died on the 20th of December 1665. Alice, his daughter, died 15th of April 1666. Rupert, his son, died the 2nd of May 1666. William, his son, died 2nd of May, so it was a big family, and unfortunately they all passed away in this household. William and Mary Thorpe, the parent of Thomas Sr., died 1666.
Okay guys, this is called the Brick House. We were just reading now, it says unique in Eyam, for the other buildings are in local stone. This was once an inn called the Stag's Parlour. It was converted into a private residence in 1828.
Of course, it's red brick, yeah. All the rest of them are all stone.
Yeah. So, right, we're going to go over to the stops.
But it's not open, obviously.
Over the road, guys, we've got Eyam Hall. I bet plenty died in that.
Original windows, Rach.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Okay, now the stocks. The stocks were probably erected by the local Barcoat Court, which ruled the lead mining industry for the punishment of offending miners who committed relatively minor offences. They were restored in 1951 to mark the Festival of Britain.
Just
So these are the stocks, yeah?
Tell her to confess a crime.
Come on, what's your crime?
I don't have one, I'm a good girl. I'm a good Irish Catholic.
I love it. I love it. That's amazing. I don't know what the other legs are for. Oh, 2 people at a time.
Yeah.
That many as they could.
Unless your hands. I wonder if you...
No.
No.
You wouldn't.
Do you know what though? I don't know. They might have put your legs.
Hang on.
Yeah.
2 feet, hand. Try that. You're going to be fit to do this.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Too big, yeah. Must have been 2 and 2. Wow.
Are you off?
You may be released.
Okay, thank you.
So we've found a picture, guys, of how you would sit in the stock. So Phil was right. That's how she was sat, and you would have rocks and stones thrown at you.
Yeah.
If you committed a petty crime up to the beginning of the 19th century, you could have been put in the stocks and had stones and clods of earth hurled at you. By 1808, crime was an increasing problem, so the Eyam and Stony Middleton Society for the prosecution of felons was kept up to the law and order. It still meets today. The modern police force took it over in 1857.
We're just reading this, guys. It says, when you visit the churchyard, you will find only one grave of a plague victim, that of Catherine Mompesson, wife of the rector. Most victims were buried in their fields and gardens to try and stop the plague spreading. Okay, I know what you're doing that for.
If my mum's watching this, she will go, wow, of course. My mum's a big believer of reincarnation.
She is.
And she highly believes that she lived in Eyam in her former life.
Wow.
And she always said, tonight when we're doing the investigation, she really thinks Catherine's going to come out because she believes she was a woman called Catherine. And reading this, Catherine Mompesson, so that's the wife of the man that locked him.
It is.
That's the wife of the man that locked
Wow, love it.
Eyam down.
David, you're right. So this is the sheep roast. The roasting spit is used each year on Carnival Day, and it's a firmly fixed village tradition. It was established in 1951 as part of the Festival of Britain celebrations. So, here it is. Hang well from it. This is it now. So Pete, how did it work?
So they set the fire and then they hang the sheep off that hook that's there.
This one.
And then there's some, on the side there's wheels and sliders, so the severity of the fire, they'd either move it closer or take
there's
it
the
further
wheels.
away.
Yeah.
Cook it.
Brilliant.
Very nice, that. Nice.
It's strange, isn't it, because it's normally a hog roast.
Well, it's quite European, that.
Yeah.
It ought to be built on there.
Yeah. Nice bit of lamb. Right, guys, just another little walk past the cottages. And just think, there is so many family members buried at the back of these cottages. And we're only at one row of cottages in Eyam. Quite a big village. But to think how many families have been buried. Just stunning little places though. Little fairy garden
It would be
there.
nice if somebody comes at the door and said, would you like to come in?
Oh my god. You know what?
Excuse them, guys. So now, guys, we're going to take you to the well. Okay, guys, so this is the tomb of Catherine
Mompesson.
who died in the plague August the 25th, 1666. I knew I'd say it wrong. Anyway, you will find that this is the only plague victim in the whole of Eyam buried in the churchyard. Everybody else was buried in the back gardens or on their land or whatever. So she was the only one. So guys, we're in the car. We're actually heading towards the well. Now the well is where the villagers had to come for their water, and honestly in the car it's like probably 10 minutes, isn't it? 6 minutes, but it's see how tight it is. It's just amazing. I don't know how they got their water. They must have brought horses up or something, and they must have done, mustn't they, David?
Oh,
I mean, the village is so far away from where the well is. Quite bizarre.
Right, guys, so we're at Mompesson's well now, and Mompesson, his name is William Mompesson, and he was the person that actually put the whole of Eyam into lockdown. It was his idea to do it. And again, this is why we've come, because it fits in with our lockdown right now. So we'll take, if you follow us down to the well. And obviously in the 1600s they didn't have tap water, so they had to come, there's a right steep hill that we drove up, and they had to walk every day with the buckets up the hill, get the water for the drinks and the baths. And
I mean, even coming down that bit, well, you know, when you've got here, it's like still.
But also, as well as being a well, this was also like a border stone. The residents were not allowed to go any further past this, in case the plague then spread to Bakewell. So they couldn't even have food deliveries coming into the village. So from Bakewell, they had the residents there bringing food here for food parcels, and then they'd come and leave pots of vinegar with coins in, and that's how they pay for the food.
Wow.
So they had to come. We'll show you the well.
Yeah.
They had to come, pick up the food parcels, and then leave them the money to pay for it. And they have to do that every day.
Beautiful. And it's still filled with water. It's amazing, isn't it? I wonder why that runs down like that. So even in them days then, Will, you know, sanitisation, they thought about it. Like we've got our hand cleansing gel
It's like there was
or
also,
card payments.
and there was social distancing as well back then. That's why when Elizabeth Hancock said that right, when she was dragging her kids to the graves to bury them, the villagers just had to watch on because they had social distance and they couldn't go near them in case they got the plague themselves.
Amazing, isn't
Very
it?
interesting, but very sad at the same time.
Very sad. So we're actually going to go now, guys. Let me just, if you can turn that around. I hope you're enjoying this. What we've said as we've been walking, we're trying to get as many facts as we can gather. If some things might be out a little bit, I don't know. But have a Google, read about Eyam. It's amazing. But we're going by what we've read on the internet and what we're learning from here as well. We're going to now go to the Riley graves, should I say, which is quite mean on the heart. It is. It's quite wrenching, in it.
It is.
The story, because you've got to put yourself in that situation. Your children, your family, you know, losing 6 children and your husband within 8 days, and having to drag them and bury them yourself. How traumatic. How does anybody ever get over that? You know, did she suffer mental health issues after? I don't know. We found out though that she had another son that lived outside the village, and when everything was fine and lockdown was done, she went to go and live with her son for quite a considerable time, but we're trying to get a date. So yeah, amazing, guys. Right, let's see what the round is.
Come on, Will.
Right, so guys, reading this information board, we've just found out it's not actually a well, and even
though it's called the well.
The well, it's actually a stream, so it runs under the well, and that's where all the water was coming from. So obviously it wasn't clean water, so they would have to boil it when they got it back to make sure it weren't infected.
It was actually for animals.
And then about putting the coins in the vinegar, they also put it in water as well because they believed that would purify the coins. So even I've learnt something today.
There you go.
Guys, back in '66, as you know, this well was used, their money, to get their food and to make wishes. So we're going to put our few coins in to make our wish for our quarantine and our what's going on in our world at the moment, for it to be gone. And we also would like all these people here in this village that many years ago to rest in peace, because it was horrendous. It's very heart-wrenching. Being here and seeing what they went through, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So we're going to throw our coins in and we're going to make our wishes. So everybody, guys, make the wishes with us. And please God, our own quarantine will be gone soon.
Right, guys, we're just driving back through the village. Absolutely buzzing with people today. What a stunning place. You must come, guys. There is a museum. There's a National Trust place as well. There's a few places to eat. There's a lovely tea room called Eyam Tea Rooms. Beautiful food. That's the brick house and the stocks, like we said. Carry on through the village. That's the museum. Absolutely wonderful place. There's the lovely tea rooms that we had our nice cake. Look at these lovely cottages. So pretty. Everything's so pretty, isn't it, David?
Stunning.
Bit bouncy here, guys, sorry. This is going up to Riley Farm. where Elizabeth had to bury her own children and her family, her husband. Within 8 days, 6 children and her husband. And she survived. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely stunning. Quite drizzly. Hi guys, right, we've come up to Riley Farm, that used to be over in this corner of the field, and it's absolutely chucking it down at the moment, so I'm not going to walk up to the grave, I'm going to save that for tonight. That's where we're going to do our investigation. But in there, can you see David? People can see in that stone wall is where Elizabeth's 6 children are buried and her husband, and that's an amazing feel. It's awful, really. So say her house was up there, so she dragged her children in sheets down that hill. All the villagers would have been stood, social distancing, all in these places, watching her helpless, not being able to do anything. How I can't even remember words. I mean, I've only got 1 child, and to bury 1 child must be horrific. 6 within a week. Absolutely mind-blowing. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed our little film. I hope it's like giving you a little bit of perspective of what's here. And we're going to see you tonight. I know it's hammering at 8:30.